Hi everyone, my name is Diana Moreno and I am a counselor with Santa Monica College. In today's session, I'm going to be talking about the community college path and some transfer options. In this session, I hope to give you an overview of your college options after high school. I want to talk a little bit about the benefits of starting at a community college, the transfer pathways from community college to a four-year college or university, and those options, transfer support programs at a community college. In this case, I'm going to be talking a little bit about the support programs offered for transfer students at Santa Monica College. So let's start the session by talking a little bit about your college options. You have a lot of college options after high school and some really great ones. The first one are all the California colleges and universities. In the entire state of California, there are a lot of colleges and universities that you can choose from. Out-of-state colleges and universities are also another option, and these are colleges and universities that are located across the country. You can also apply to colleges and universities out of the country, and there's a ton of options there as well. And these are not only options after high school graduation, but will be options to you as well if you were to start at a community college and eventually transfer to these four-year schools. So in California, we have a lot of really great public systems. We have the UC system, so this is an option for you, and these are schools like UCLA, UC San Diego, UC Santa Barbara, a lot of really great UC schools. We also have the Cal State system, also known as the CSU, and there's about 23 campuses there, and those include schools like Cal State Long Beach, Cal State LA, CSUN, Cal State Northridge, Cal Poly Pomona, also a lot of really great options. And then we have the California community colleges, and Santa Monica College is one of those community colleges. And there are a lot of schools like that across the state as well. So in today's session, I really want to focus on the community college and the community college as an option to start your college education after high school. And I just want to start off with some information here, some fun facts. There are actually 116 California community colleges, including SMC. And when you're at a community college, you can do a lot of really great things in addition to preparing for transfer. You can get a certificate. A certificate is a training program. Basically, it would train you to do something specific. So for example, a cosmetology certificate that would train you with those skills. You can also get an associate degree. An associate degree is a two-year college degree. And usually for an associate degree, you would study your general education classes plus your major classes. So for example, if you were to get an associate degree in business, you would be studying your general education plus your business classes. And at some colleges, including SMC, you can get a bachelor's degree, which is a four-year college degree. And the really great thing about that is that you would be getting a bachelor's degree at the cost of a community college, which can be significantly less expensive. And 29% of students that graduate from a UC started at a community college. And this is really cool. So I want you to take that in a little bit. 29% of students that eventually end up graduating from a UC school, so schools like UC Santa Barbara and UC Riverside, UC Merced, started their education at a community college. 51% of those students, students that graduate from a Cal State also started at a community college. So this is really awesome. A lot of students are starting their education at the community college for a lot of different reasons. And I want to talk about some of those reasons and some of the benefits generally of just starting at a community college. So one of the big benefits and one of the reasons why a lot of students choose to start at a community college is the cost. So the cost meaning that it is less expensive, so you can save money those first 2 years of college. And right now, a lot of students are eligible for two different types of promise programs. The first one is the California Promise, which I'll be talking about in just a little bit, and then also local promises. At SMC, we have something called the SMC Promise, which I will also talk about in just a little bit. But what you need to know is that these promise programs often will help you pay for your education the first 2 years of college. So that means free college tuition. At the community college, you'll also find smaller class sizes. A lot of your classes will be almost the same size as your high school classes. So your college lectures would be between 35 to 50 students. So it makes that transition a little bit easier and allows you to connect with your professors as well. You'll also find very flexible class schedules. So at community colleges, we often offer classes throughout the day. We also offer evening classes and weekend classes. And then throughout the semester, we also have something called late start classes, which will be start a little bit later than usual in the semester and will be shorter, so more compacted. We have transfer admission guarantee programs. So these are guarantee admission to transfer schools like the UCs, the Cal States, and private schools. And a lot of these transfer admission guarantee programs are sort of like defined pathways that'll tell you what requirements you need to have, including GPA and certain classes in order to be granted admission to those schools. As a community college student, you're also given priority admission consideration to UCs and Cal States because they want to make sure that our community college students are being able to access the UCs and the Cal States. Starting at a community college is also a really great second chance at your four-year school. So it's an opportunity to have a clean slate and apply again to your first choice for-year school, whether it be UCLA, USC, or any of the really great colleges that are in the state. You can start college without leaving home. If you feel like you need a little bit more time or you want to stay home, you can start your college education at a community college, often without leaving your home. And you can save some money while you're at it. Some bachelor's degrees, I did mention this, and SMC is one of the few community colleges in the state of California that does offer a four-year bachelor's degree. We all actually offer a bachelor's degree in interaction design, which is a really cool combination of graphic design, a little bit of business and computer science, I believe, and it's at the cost, again, of a community college. And there are 15 California community colleges that are currently offering one bachelor's degree. And I do want to focus in a little bit more on what I mentioned a little bit earlier with cost, and that is the California Promise and the local promise programs, because I think this is one of the big benefits of starting at a community college, and financial aid is also a really important piece as you consider your college options. The first thing that I want to talk about is the California Promise. This is also known, what used to be known as the BOG fee waiver. And the California Promise, you can apply for it when you submit your FAFSA, and it does depend on your family's income, and it covers your tuition. So eligibility is what we call income dependent, and it would, again, cover your tuition at a community college. The local promises, like the SMC promise, are often not income dependent. So they'll cover up to 2 years of college, and you will still apply by submitting the FAFSA, and they'll cover your classes, and oftentimes you will also be eligible for book vouchers and fees depending on your family's income. So the SMC Promise is one of those really great programs, and we offer it to students that graduate from high school, from a California high school, and then begin at SMC. So most students are eligible for at least one, either the California Promise or the local promise, and can get up to 2 years of college for free. So this is really great savings, and I think a really great way to start your college education. Okay, so let's switch over to talking about your transfer path basics. So this is if you were to start at a community college with the goal of transferring to a four-year college. So there are some general things that transfer students need to do when they're at a community college to transfer successfully to a four-year college. The first one is they need to complete general education requirements and need to complete some major preparation courses at their community college. So you'll be studying general education, so that means a little bit of math, a little bit of English, a little bit of science, and then also your major classes. So for example, if you are a psychology major, then there are certain classes that you would be completing to prepare for that major. You do need to meet minimum eligibility for the UC, the Cal State, or private school that you are applying to. And that might mean a certain number of classes. That might also mean a certain GPA. You need to follow the admission requirements for your transfer school and your major. And this is really important. The units that you need to complete, so the number of units and the time that it's going to require for you to transfer, as well as the types of classes that you will be taking, depend on where you want to transfer, so what your transfer school is, and what you would like to major in, so what we call your major requirement. So those two things are really important. So one of the pieces of advice that I have for high school students right now is to really start thinking about what you may want to major in. And we can definitely help you with that at SMC, but you definitely want to start thinking about what it is that you may be interested in pursuing, and maybe what you may be interested in doing as a career. That'll also give us some clues and information as to what a good major might be. And then also start thinking about what schools you may be interested in transferring to, what four-year colleges and universities. Okay, so transferring from a community college to the CSU or Cal State. You'll see a really cool map here that shows you all of the CSU campuses. There's 23 in total, and they're across the state of California, so you have a lot of options there to transfer. Some basic Cal State transfer admission requirements. You do need to complete 60 semester units of transferable college level coursework. So if you've heard it takes 2 years to transfer from a community college, this is kind of where that comes from. Because if we do the math, if you are a full-time student, you're taking about 15 units per semester, 15 total semester units. And there's 2 semesters in 1 year. So 15 in the fall, 15 in the spring, that would equal about 30. And then your second year, you would do the other 30. But you can, of course, move that around. We also have winter and summer terms where you can make up some of those units or do some extra units. So there's a lot of ways to piece that together, and that's something that we would help you with. The minimum GPA for admission is a 2.0 or better in those transfer level courses. And then you do need to complete that CSUGE. So that's the Cal State General Education, including your oral and written communication classes, a critical thinking class, and a quantitative reasoning, AKA a math class, and also your major preparation. So this is what I mentioned earlier, that you'll be doing a combination of general education classes plus your major related courses. The Cal States have a really great program called the Associate Degree for Transfer, ADT, a degree with a guarantee. And this is a really cool program because it offers a lot of great benefits, one of them being guaranteed admission to at least one Cal State campus. And you get an associate degree on your way to that transfer school. So the ADT, you basically get an associate degree on your way to that transfer Cal State school. They are designed to help make transfer easier to a similar major at the Cal State. So for example, if you get an ADT in business, you would be transferring as a business major. You do need to complete your 60 CSU units, a minimum overall GPA of 2.0. And let me just pause here for a second and share this or expand on this a little bit more. So even though it's a minimum GPA of 2.0, depending on the campus and how competitive admission is at that campus, that GPA may be a little bit higher. And at SMC, when you meet with a counselor, that is something that we can talk to you about and share what you need to get as far as GPA and what you need to shoot for in order to be a competitive applicant in their process. You do need to complete general education. The community college that you go to must offer the ADT. So this is also important when you're kind of researching what those community college options may be. You want to look and see if that community college offers the associate degree for transfer in what you're interested in. And this program does guarantee admission to at least one CSU and also gives you a GPA boost in their admission process. So there's a lot of really great benefits. And fun fact here, SMC actually offers 19 associate degrees for transfer. So lots of really great options there. Transferring from community college to the UCs. So let's switch over and talk a little bit about UC transfer admission. And you'll see a similar map here that shows you all of the different campuses for the UC system across the state of California. There's about 9 or 10 of them. I think the 10th does not accept undergraduate admits, but most of the ones that you see highlighted here will be options for you. And UCs have a little bit of different transfer admission requirements, similar in terms of time or units, so about 60 semester units of transferable college level work. Their minimum GPA is a little bit higher, about a 2.4. And again, this may vary by campus, right? So for example, at UCLA, because it is a competitive school, that GPA will be a lot higher to be competitive. And that's something we can certainly talk to you about. Completion of general education, what we call the IGETC, which is the general education pattern for transfer, or the set of classes that you would use to transfer to the Cal State, and your major preparation courses. So this is just very generally what you would need to complete for UC transfer admission. The UCs also have a really good transfer admission guarantee program. It's called the UC TAG program, Transfer Admission Guarantee. It's offered by 6 of the 9 UC campuses, and you can apply for a tag to one campus. So essentially you would tag a campus. So let's say that I want to tag UC Santa Barbara. You would put together with help of the college, basically a contract that you would follow. So you would follow certain class requirements and a certain GPA and follow certain steps to be admitted to that transfer UC school that you tagged. You do need to complete general education and major preparation courses with a certain GPA, depending on what school you're tagging and for what major. So it is a really cool program, like I mentioned, that'll guarantee you admission to one UC campus. So 6 of them participate in this. The only downside or the only thing that I do want to mention is that the most competitive UCs and the most popular ones don't usually participate in this. So that's UCLA, UC Berkeley, and UC San Diego. You can absolutely still apply for transfer to that school, to those schools, and we can actually help you at SMC with the requirements that you need and what you need to know to be competitive in their admission process. But those campuses don't participate in this specific UC TAG program. In addition to the Cal States and the UCs, you also have a ton of really great private and out-of-school options for transfer after your community college. There's lots and lots of options across the country, and the requirements for these different private schools, so private schools would include schools like USC and LMU, Chapman. So there's a lot of really great private schools here in California and then also out of state as well. But the requirements for transfer for that would vary by school. And the cool thing is that they often allow students to transfer after just 1 year at a community college. So a lot of times, if you do very well your first year at your community college, you can transfer and apply for transfer to those schools. Similar to the UC and Cal State transfer admission requirements, they do require that you complete general education and major preparation. So I think the key theme here, if you were to go the transfer route, is that you will be studying your general education classes plus your major classes. So again, definitely start thinking about what majors you may be interested in. If you're not quite sure, don't worry. I know at SMC we have a really great class that'll help you figure out what it is that you may be interested in majoring in. So you'll definitely have that support. And I do want to share a little bit about transferring from SMC. And that is what I'm most familiar with. So I want to share with you some of the really great things that we do at SMC to support you in your transfer and your transfer path options. SMC is #1 in transfers to the UCs, including UCLA, USC, and LMU. And we have a lot of really great support programs that'll help our students in different ways reach their goal of transferring to a 4-year college or university. The first one is the Scholars Program, which I'll be talking a little bit more about, the STEM program, and the Black Collegians program, the Latino Center Adelante program. So these are specific programs, support programs, that you can often apply into or attend an information and orientation for and start getting support from them. So definitely look into that if you are coming to SMC or wherever it is that you may be attending. Look into the special programs that they have to offer to help you transfer and reach that goal of transferring. Some of the transfer guarantee programs and support resources that we offer our students at SMC include the UC tag, so tag to one of the 6 UC schools. You can attend workshops. We have different workshops to help you familiarize yourself with the process and also help you in that process. You can also meet with a counselor so that we can set up what is called an educational plan. And whatever community college you attend, you should definitely be looking to set up an educational plan when you get started there. An educational plan is basically kind of like a roadmap of classes. So it's a roadmap of the next year or two of classes that you should be taking in order to reach your goal of transfer. The CSU ADT, which is that program that I talked about for the Cal States, the Associate Degree for Transfer, that does guarantee you admission to at least one Cal State campus. SMC offers 19 in total, so that's really cool, a lot of options there. You can also attend a workshop and also meet with a counselor to help plan that out. We also offer specifically, this is unique to SMC, we offer transfer admission guarantee programs with 8 private schools and 3 out-of-state schools, including LMU, Pepperdine, Arizona State, and so there's a lot of options there. So we have set up specific transfer admission guarantee programs similar to the TAG, similar to the ADT, between SMC and these other schools to help our students gain admission there. Transfer workshops from beginning of process to end. So that means that we will help you from the beginning of the transfer process to the end. So all the way up to when you receive your admission notification, we will help you through that process. We also offer one of the largest college fairs with over 170 colleges and universities participating. So for our current SMC students, we have very large college fair. We have colleges and university reps that come to campus and talk to our students about what they're looking for, how they should be preparing for that transfer admission. We also have college representatives that visit our students regularly and can set up meetings or host presentations to, again, talk about what they're looking for in their admission process when it comes to transfer applications and admission. And we have one of the largest teams of counselors to support you through that transfer option or through that transfer path. So a lot of support at SMC if transfer is one of your goals. And I do want to talk a little bit more about the Scholars Program. So the Scholars Program is a support program that I mentioned that is focused on helping students transfer. So this is one of the key programs that I like to mention because they have a lot of really great support for our students. It aims to prepare students for transfer to the colleges and universities of their choice. Scholar students get priority admission consideration to UCLA, College of Letters, Arts, and Sciences, UC Irvine, and LMU. So this is not guaranteed admission, this is important, but it is priority admission consideration. So the support program wants to make sure that they're helping you be a competitive candidate in that admission process. You do have to have a minimum 3.0 GPA in order to be eligible to apply for the Scholars Program. Ideally, you'll be applying in the spring of your senior year, so before you've completed 30 units of college credit. If you are a part of the Scholars Program or even a part of a lot of these other programs that I've mentioned, they do offer priority enrollment. So priority enrollment is basically when a student is offered to enroll early on in the process, so you have a good pick of classes and class time. Specialized classes, so that means classes that are closed and designed specifically for scholar students. Dedicated counseling services, so scholars, counselors that meet with students, and tutoring as well. And a lot of other really great benefits being part of the program as well. So this is definitely another piece of advice wherever it is that you go, whether it be SMC or another community college. I definitely want to encourage you to look into those support programs. The more connected that you are to campus, the more programs that you are a part of, especially if they're transfer programs, the easier it'll be to reach your goal of transferring to that four-year college or university. Okay, so that brings me to the end of my session. I want to thank you for joining me today. Transferring is really a great option for a lot of students, and starting at a community college can have a lot of really great benefits, like I mentioned, whether it be cost or transfer admission to that first year school. And that transfer process that I talked about very generally today during today's session. But if you are interested in continuing on to SMC, or just want to learn a little bit more about SMC as an option, we are happy to help with that. You can visit us on our website, www.smc.edu, and you can also email us at outreach@smc.edu. We are proud to be SMC. This is definitely a very, very cool campus, a good place to start your education. So again, I want to thank you for joining me today. I hope you have a good rest of your day, and thank you.